Yeah, Payne, we've talked to pretty much everyone we've talked to. We've asked this, but just how excited are you? What is the anticipation level like of getting to play in Carter Finley again, but now getting to play, with the full crowd?
Yeah, it's exciting, to have the best fans in the nation back in the stadium again. We as the football team really think that our fans help us out tremendously when we play at home. They're loud, they're crazy, they're rowdy, and it's going to be awesome to have all 65,000 back in the stadium, But we have to. Last year, we kind of got blessed with being able to communicate really well on the field and being able to understand calls and even hear the coaches on the sideline, and that's definitely not going to be an option this year. So we're definitely going to have to be more locked in and just have more detail on the field and more discipline and know what we're doing at all times.
And then Cade Fortin, who's starting for USF at quarterback, at one point in the past, you were kind of part of a recruiting class with him. Is he a guy that you had any relationship with when you guys were in high school, or do you know him at all?
I don't actually know him at all. I think like kind of when I decommitted from UNC is kind of when he hopped on the boat. So I didn't really get in contact with him much. So no, I don't really know him at all.
Todd Gibson.
Yeah, Peyton, getting back to that first question, what was it like playing last year at Carter Finley and just looking around and just seeing 4,000 fans in there when you're so used to seeing the student section packed and the fans just, in full throat the whole game? What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely, it took some adjusting, I would say. But, in between plays, it's, you don't really think about the fans as much. So, I mean, the first couple games, it was definitely really weird. And then when we went to places like Pitt and Syracuse, when they had absolutely like zero fans in the stadium, I mean, there was no crowd noise at all. So it's kind of hard to tell which team's making a play. Most of the time, if the home team's making a play, you're able to tell because if someone's throwing the ball all the way down the field and as a linebacker, I'm blitzing, I'm able to tell if we had a PBU, an interception, or if they caught the ball, and you couldn't tell that at all last year. I mean, it wasn't hard to be motivated, but it's definitely a lot easier to be motivated when you have 65,000 cheering you on.
Mike Toper.
Hey, Peyton, good afternoon, man. I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about what you've seen looking at South Florida. You just mentioned their quarterback, Cade, but what have you seen that they kind of present as a bit of a challenge for Thursday night?
Well, I think that they're athletic all around the board. South Florida, that's usually what they're known for. They have a lot of speed and they have a lot of threats. They have a lot of transfers that came in as well. So it's kind of the unknown right now, just looking to see what they throw at us and throw our best back at them. But I think, the biggest thing that we have to worry about is just speed all the way across the board, even though linemen move well, quarterback does a good job of leading his receivers, letting them run a lot. They run a lot of jet sweeps. So, it's just going to be containing that speed and then hopefully just doing our jobs at that point.
Jonas?
Hey, Peyton, I wanted to ask you about Coach Doran. He's entering his ninth year. A coach being at one spot for 9 years in college football is pretty rare. From the time he's recruiting you to now, you've been around for a while now. How has he changed? Players want to get better and improve from year to year. I imagine coaches are the same way. How has Coach Doran changed since you've been playing for him?
Well, when I first got here, we had that pretty bad season. We lost a lot of guys and a lot of young guys had to play. And, I think the one thing that we see from Coach Doran is kind of the same thing every day. He's very consistent. He's very motivated every day. He's going to bring the same energy to the table. But one thing that he's really done is just, he brought us, I think that a lot of credit to him, he brought us from a 4-9 team to a team that's back in the conversation. In 2019, we were a team, we were a bottom tier team in the Power 5 football, and for him to just stay on us and to develop us so well and to get us to the point that we are now really says a lot about him and who he is as a coach.
Go ahead, Andrew.
When we were talking to Coach Doran yesterday, he kind of called you and Drake and Isaiah the heartbeats of what happens for this team on defense. How seriously do you guys take kind of your responsibility as the quarterbacks and the leaders of this defense?
Yeah, we take it really serious. Me, Drake, and Isaiah have had the opportunity to play beside each other for a long time. So we have a lot of good chemistry. So we really know who makes the calls and when the calls need to be made. But I mean, we're at film every single night. You know, we take it on ourselves to if someone messes up on the defense, it's because we didn't give them the right call or we didn't tell them the right tendency. You know, we really put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get people in the right spot. I mean, and Isaiah and Drake, they do such a great job of just being students of the game. You know, they know everything that's coming. They know every tendency. They know where everyone's supposed to be. And they help me out so much and they help the team out so much.
Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Payton. So obviously, given the circumstances, what you guys went through last year, I know this is a relatively veteran group. How do you guys think you grew as a team last year? And how do you think that's going to kind of give you an advantage this year, not only as a unit, but as a defense as well?
Yeah, I think it goes even further back to last year. You know, I think after that 2019 season, we really, as a defense, set back and we set back and we needed to change everything. We need to change how we play, how we prepared, how we entered a game, how we finished games. And, you know, we really took that personally. We were one of the worst defenses in the ACC, and it was pretty embarrassing. I think that the team has just grown. The defense itself has grown so much and just trying to become the defense that we know we can be. In 2019, we were plagued with injuries, so a lot of young guys, myself included, had to play. So, you know, we got really close from that, having to play really early. And then last year with COVID, I feel like, you know, teams either split apart from it or grew really close together. And credit to Coach Doran again, he did a great job of keeping us in touch. We were on Zoom calls every day. We had accountability partners. And, you know, our team grew so close. Just that idea in the back of our head that we'll one day get to be able to play again, and will we be ready or will we not be ready, you know?
You have another one, Todd?
Yeah, Payton, just how important is it to get that first win of the season, just to start the season 1-0? I know it's not a deal breaker if you go 0-1, but geez, how important is it to get that first win of the season?
Yeah, you know, that's our whole mentality all season is that 1-0 mentality, you know, focus on game one, don't look ahead. And, you know, we definitely want to win all of them, all 12 that we play, you know, and even some more. But it's definitely really important to start the season off on a good note. We definitely have been preparing really hard and really well and had a lot of detail and discipline in our game plan. So I think that getting that first win under the belt is just to get that train moving and get that momentum going.
Go ahead, Jonas.
I'm just curious, how did you and Devin get close? Was it during the recruiting process? I know you guys are roommates now. We saw it on the ACC road trip. He's a guy from the north. You're from here in North Carolina. How did you guys kind of find common ground and become friends and roommates and get close?
Man, it goes, let me think. Me and him go back to junior year of high school, man. We met out at the Nike opening. At the time, I was committed to UNC. He was committed to NC State, actually. So, I mean, it was almost kind of like a friendly rivalry there, you know. But he was one of the main guys that kept talking to me throughout the recruiting process to try to get me to come to State. And then when we got here, we just clicked off, you know. We think alike. We work really hard together. And we just gel really well. So ever since we've got here, you know, we've been great friends. And then after this past semester, in I think December, I started living with him, and our friendship grew so much. We started talking ball all the time. And we're just growing together, and we're becoming better football players together.
You mentioned talking ball as a follow-up, and you guys are captains now. So when you guys are at the house, do you talk, hey, this is what I'm seeing from the offense? Or he tells you, hey, this is what I see from the defense, and you guys are kind of collaborating and kind of taking it to the field, to the practice field?
Yeah, and I think that's all, because used to when me and him would talk, it would always be a competition. You know, like we were younger back in the days, it's like, oh, the defense whooped the offense today. You know, we're up one. But I think now, like this fall camp, we would come back from practice and he would be like, hey, man, I see this going on with the defense. If you don't get it fixed, it's going to hurt y'all this season, and vice versa. You know, I think that just shows the maturity of the friendship that we had and just the maturity of the team as well.
David Thompson.
Hey, what's up, Payton? You know, knowing that you guys are coming in as such heavy favorites, is the expectation to completely dominate, or is there an understanding that this is week one and you know, there could be some missteps?
No, we want to come out week one, you know, we want to look like we've been playing ball for 12 weeks. You know, we want to look like we have no rust that we need to knock off. The goal is definitely to dominate all game, but it's college football and, you know, anything happens. But as long as we do our job and everyone does their job and they don't try to do too much and everyone's playing with great effort, you know, I think all things are going to go well.
Sorry, last one for Payton. JB, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Payton? JB here. Thanks for taking out the time. I want to speak about you in.
Oh, that was a fake. JB, you want to start over? You froze up.
Yeah, you froze up.
Oh, you got me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Okay, sorry about that. Payton, I wanted to ask you about your individual success based off the numbers you had last season and the expectations you had this year. What are your individual goals that you know you need to reach this year in order to help this team succeed and, you know, contend for a championship?
Yeah. This might sound corny and it might sound cliche, but I honestly don't think that way. You know, Coach Thunder, he tells us every day with team success comes individual success. So, you know, nobody has goals. Nobody has higher expectations for myself than me, obviously. But I think that my whole focus is if I go out there and I get 1 tackle, but I help the team win, you know, that's way more important than me if I go out there and I have 20 tackles and we lose. If you see what I'm saying? So the whole way that I look at the individual goals and the individual success is with team success comes individual success. And I mean, that's been proven in the past, you know? So.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Payton, thank you very much. Thanks for calling.